with the Davante Adams change, the latest, the second consecutive major Tuesday change made by the New York Jets, what does this do for their odds? To win the Super Bowl, unchanged, 30-1. That seems generous. To win the AFC Championship, 15-1, unchanged. The only noteworthy change on a macro level, the odds to win the AFC East have gone from 7-1 to 4.25-1. You're down 2 games to the Bills, and they hold the first tiebreaker. You have to go play them in their building. I don't like that. That's just somebody out there pissing away their money and knee-jerk reaction betting on the Jets because they got Davante Adams to drive that number down. That's a bad bet. Every bet's a bad bet in my view, but that's a bad bet. And I say every bet's a bad bet because you win one, you get the dopamine rush, and then you're going to blow more of your money on losing bets, and you're going to justify all of that on the fact that, boy, it felt good to win. The odds for Sunday night's game on NBC and Peacock have shifted, and this is surprising too. The Steelers went from a 1.5-point favorite to a 1.5-point underdog with the arrival of Davante. The guy just showing up. He's just showing up.
Right.
He's going to make a 3-point difference? Are you freaking kidding me?
But he showed up, and look, I think it's, I'm not accusing him of anything. I think it's funny, though. If you're a Raiders fan, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. He shows up, he does that hit with McAfee and Rodgers, and he says, hey, hamstring's feeling great. Hey, I'm feeling good now. The Vegas staff got me all straightened up. They healed me up nicely.
Mr. Miyagi made an appearance.
You're like, come on. What? You're doing well now? You couldn't be there last week. We needed you last week against the Steelers. We lose to the Steelers with young Aiden O'Connell, who supposedly you like. That's one of your buddies, and you were advocating for him to be the quarterback. You're not available then, but now you're going to take on the Steelers with the Jets. Yeah, I think that will help. He'll help. But how many times have you had this in season? A wide receiver who just is dropped in, even a wide receiver with the history that he has with Aaron Rodgers. You just drop that guy in, and all of a sudden he just takes off. That's hard to do. It's going to take a few weeks, and he'll have an impact. I think having an impact this Sunday, if I were a betting man, which I am, I think I'd go with the Steelers in this one.
Oh, I think I would too. I would have gone with the Steelers given 1.5. I'll definitely go with the Steelers getting 1.5. I already know what my pick's going to be tomorrow when Sims and I get together for the PFT PM, Chris Sims Unbuttoned Joint Picks podcast. And one last thing about this upcoming Steelers-Jets game that I thought was amusing. Yesterday, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin said he went from preparing to face Davante Adams last week with the Raiders to preparing to face Davante Adams this week with the Jets. And Mike, he wasn't going to be playing in that game. Davante Adams had a better chance of playing for the Steelers in that game than the Raiders in that game, which was just, and I think Tomlin was just trying to be funny, but yeah, he wasn't playing in that game. He wasn't setting foot on the field for the Raiders ever again. That's what made the report on Sunday so laughable. Maybe we'll just keep him. Yeah, and you'll pay him $938,000 per week to not play because that hamstring isn't going to be injured as long as the expectation is he's going to play for the Raiders. Because, look, he's getting cut after the end of the year. He's going to be a free agent. He's going to come back and play for a team that's not a contender and risk an injury that would keep him from picking his next team unfettered in 2025. None of it made any sense. The trade made sense. The trade happened. And now we see, with 11 games left, what can Davante Adams do to make the Jets better? All right, let's take a break. And the Jets weren't the only team in the AFC East to trade for a veteran receiver yesterday. The other trade that shook up. Oh, well, I always do this. Not always, but I do it enough that I have to stop and say, I need to say these things before we take the break. DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the app and use promo code PFTLive when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. And please, as always, bet responsibly with money that you can afford to lose because chances are you will. We'll be back with more PFT Live right after this. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.